My name's James, I'm in my mid-40s, and 8 months ago I reconnected with my childhood love of sketching. In this video I want to share with you my latest sketchbook and what I've learnt from the process.
So I'm here on a rooftop in New Delhi, India, where 1 month ago I bought this sketchbook and have since completed it, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to share with you what I've been up to. Have you guys ever experienced a situation where you're sitting somewhere and you can see a picture in front of you and it's begging to be sketched, but you decide not to because it'll take too long to get your gear out, and probably by the time you've got yourself set up, the scene has moved on? That's happened to me quite a lot, and I started using it as an excuse not to sketch. So instead, what I'm showing you here, some simple ink and wash sketches that I've been doing, which is like my baseline format, and actually what I've found I enjoy the most because they're super quick. So I think this one here, for example, this was when we were in a place called Binzar National Park in Uttarakhand. We went on a local guided walk that took us through this village, and we got to see the livestock of the village, and the kids got to sort of play with the baby goats and the water buffalo. And whilst this was all going on, and whilst we were all sat down for tea, I was able to fire off a couple of really quick sketches, and that's on the walk home even. So I didn't have a longer tour to do these, and they were the difference between not sketching at all and just getting something on paper. And the format, the size of the sketchbook, the cost of the sketchbook, that all enabled me to pull that off. And of this book, those are some of my favorite sketches, ironically enough. So as you can see from my sketchbook, I had it all organized. I was going to talk to you about the sketching I was doing in sections. However, there's been a weather warning put out for New Delhi for extreme heat, and my camera is suffering a little bit, it keeps cutting out. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a page turn, flip page by page, show you what's in the sketchbook, and then talk over the top. If you guys have got any questions over any specific sketch or experimentation that I've been doing, please feel free to write in the comments, and I can maybe do another video at a later date to zoom in on specific details. So what I've loved about this sketchbook is that it enables me to do a lot of experimentation, and as you can see, I'm trying to teach myself a little bit about color theory, what colors work together, how and why. What this has enabled me to do is if I complete a sketch and I feel unsatisfied with the sketch or disappointed with it, I can sort of do a deep dive and explore why that sketch didn't work. A good example of that in this book has been trees, trying to figure out how to make my trees less blobby, and with sunsets and sunrises, looking at the colors around the sun and creating that sense of warmth. I've also got into the habit, as you can see here, is if I have any questions or curiosities, I'll write them down. So we went and spent a lot of time around a place called Devi in Uttarakhand, where you get a clear view of the Himalayas. And I really enjoyed these studies painting mountains by leaving the white of the paper, which was the snow of the snow-covered peaks. So here's another example of color studies. It's a classic, paint a peach or an orange and look at the colors that create that 3D form. So I spent a bit of time on this. There was an orange tree next to where we lived, and I was trying to work out how to get those colors to pop on the page, what different hues that I could use to do that. I just had fun experimenting. Figures, that's another one. I decided that I was doing too many landscapes and not enough figures. Figures are really hard to draw, I find, or daunting anyway. So just biting the bullet and going for it and trying to experiment with figure shapes on a page. I did a number of interiors on this one. Very difficult to do, especially at the scale, I think. Or this particular interior that I was trying to sketch was a good exercise in seeing the difference between lights and darks. And I'm not sure I succeeded in any of them, but I got close in some, and it helped me to learn. More interiors. I did a lot of landscapes with skies, so the horizon line is down at the bottom third of the page and looking at clouds and shapes. I heard the term skying from someone in a YouTube channel. It's what the artists of old used to do, and they used to basically just practice clouds and skies. So I thought I'd have a go at a little bit of skying myself and see if I could create interesting shapes, cloud shapes. And living in the mountains or staying in the mountains, there was no shortage of reference material. It's getting hotter by the second. So I was experimenting with sort of wet on wet and how to get a softer sort of tree line, but that ties in with depth. Yeah, it's a lifetime's pursuit, I think, but I'm enjoying seeing the progress, and having a small sketchbook is definitely a way of seeing that progress more quickly, more readily. So this is a scene I did a lot of. I actually posted a video about painting the same scene 6 times, which I'll link for you in the description. But that was a very useful exercise in studying different shadows and contrasts and colours in the same scene, all done plein air. So that's a temple and figures visiting the temple. And then some notes in the back, some YouTube ideas, some curiosities that I want to go and explore to try and keep things fresh and interesting in my sketching. All right, so I've had to move into the shade onto our balcony. If it sounds a little bit echoey, I do apologize, but the camera is just not coping in the heat, it's struggling in the heat. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to do a deeper dive on any of the sketches that you saw, if you've got any questions that arise from this. And I hope in showing you this, it's inspired you to get your own sketchbook going and just get out there and start sketching for the pleasure of it. I'll see you on the next one.